The history of the Jewish people is partly a story about wandering. Many early Bible stories are about the Hebrews looking for a home. They finally found one in Israel. There the Hebrews became known as Jews. But is the story real history or just legends? According to the Bible, Abraham brought his people into the land of Canaan sometime between 2000 and 1700 BC. Canaan was in present-day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Israel. Here Abraham made his covenant with God. God told Abraham he would be the father of the Hebrew people, and that Canaan would be their promised land. Abraham's grandson was Jacob, also known as Israel. His followers were known as Israelites. Jacob had 12 sons, and each of their families became a Hebrew tribe. Together, they were called the 12 tribes of Israel. One tribe was led by Jacob's son Judah. The Hebrews named their religion Judaism after him. The Hebrews migrated to Egypt because of a drought. That turned out to be a big mistake. The Egyptians enslaved the Israelites for hundreds of years. Around the beginning of the 13th century BC, Moses led the Israelites out of slavery. The Bible says God gave Moses 2 pieces of stone, known as stone tablets, with the 10 commandments inscribed on them. Moses put the tablets in a wooden chest. That was called the Ark of the Covenant. This became the Hebrews' most sacred object. After Moses' death, his second in command, Joshua, led the 12 tribes. According to the Bible, Joshua led the Israelites back into Canaan. He waged war and claimed the land for his people, bringing the Ark of the Covenant with him. The Bible describes the Battle of Jericho. It says that Joshua blew a ram's horn so loudly that the thick walls of the city collapsed. The Bible contains both the history of the Hebrews and religious ideas. So is this history or a legend? For a long time, historians dismissed the story of Joshua's horn. They claimed that the city of Jericho was destroyed long before the Hebrews arrived. But some archaeological studies found proof that the city fell much later than people thought. Canaan also has lots of earthquakes. An earthquake could have destroyed Jericho's city walls just as Joshua arrived. The 12 tribes were not a united group. Over the next 300 years, the Israelites followed leaders, known as judges. The last judge of the 12 tribes was called Samuel. He was considered a prophet, or someone who spoke directly to God. The Israelites convinced Samuel to choose a king for all the tribes. He chose Saul, of the tribe of Benjamin. That's how Saul became the first king of Israel. Saul didn't turn out to be a great choice. Samuel probably picked him because he was a skillful fighter. His son-in-law David was also an awesome warrior. David later led Israel's troops in battle with great success. The people of Israel loved David. The prophet Samuel writes that they sang, "Saul has killed his thousands, and David his 10,000s." Saul might have been jealous of David's fighting skills. After all, he tried to kill David more than once. But Saul was eventually killed in battle with the Philistines. David became the second king of Israel and ended up being the most famous. King David defeated the Philistines as well as several other small kingdoms. He conquered the city of Jerusalem and made it his capital. David brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, and the city became a religious center for the Hebrew people. At last, the Hebrew people were united. David created 12 districts. Each district paid taxes to Jerusalem. People made religious pilgrimages there. For the Jewish people, Jerusalem was the place to be. In the Bible, David defeats Goliath, an enormous Philistine giant, using a sling. In 2012, archaeologists discovered a city of Hebrew soldiers that sat directly across a valley from a Philistine city. The valley is where the battle supposedly took place, but no evidence of the giants has been found yet. David became revered as Israel's most important king. Want more proof? Today, the symbol on Israel's flag is even called the Star of David. King David planned to build a great temple to house the Ark, which was completed during his son Solomon's reign. The location of that temple would become possibly the most important piece of land in the world, even today.